Hey everyone in District 64 and all who may be watching. It has been a crazy few weeks, but I wanted to update you all on what has been going on. I was able to recently participate in a Black History Month event in downtown Somerton and had the pleasure of speaking to and with my constituents. Mayor Tony Junius brought up grant money that he said is pending so that they can fix the water and sewer infrastructure to improve Goat Island and other parts of the Somerton community. I also spoke with county administration and county council members about big plans for Clarendon County in the North Santee area and in Somerton. I look forward to seeing those plans play out and bring some new and exciting things to the area. Ryan Way and other members of the Clarendon County Disability and Special Needs Board came to the State House recently. I enjoyed spending some time with them while they were there and am planning on visiting them later this week to see all that they are doing in the community. We had several big bills pass the House in the last few weeks. One of those was the Human Protection Act, which restricts most abortion procedures, declares that life begins at conception, and puts an end to abortion being used as birth control. The bill will still allow licensed physicians to perform an abortion in cases where a pregnancy results from incidents of rape and incest, a fetal fatal anomaly is present, or when the life of the mother is at risk. It also protects contraception, IVF, and other assistive reproduction technologies. In addition, biological fathers will be responsible for paying 50% of the birth mother's pregnancy expenses from the time of conception, as well as child support to be calculated from the date of the conception. As a strong supporter of the Constitution, I voted to restore a constitutional freedom that will provide more options for individuals and families to protect themselves in the Second Amendment Preservation Act, which ensures that South Carolinians who can lawfully own a firearm have the right to carry it openly or concealed with limited restrictions. Our bill was developed with the help of SC's top law enforcement officials to make it tougher on felons who carry guns. For any felon charged with an unlawful carrying of a firearm, the first-time violators could face up to 5 years in jail, second-time offenders could face 5 to 20 years, and third-time or more violators would face 10 to 30 years in prison. The bill now will head to the Senate. I proudly voted to support our veterans these past few weeks by helping to unanimously pass two important bills that will streamline and improve efficiency within some of our veterans services. Bill 3802 will restructure the Veterans Trust Fund Board, and Bill 3797 makes it easier for military parents to enroll their children in SC schools while on active duty or pending transfer. We passed Bill 3340, which added the dissemination of information regarding missing persons believed to be suffering from autism spectrum disorders or other disabilities as it relates to the Endangered Person Notification System. The bond reform bill that passed the House this week creates sentence and bond enhancements for a person convicted of a violent crime while out on bond for a previous violent crime. The bipartisan vote was 92 to 20. It has sentence enhancements of a mandatory 5 years if a person is convicted of a violent crime while out on bond for a previous offense. It requires any bond set for someone who commits a violent offense while out on bond for a previous offense to be 100% cash bond, and magistrates and summary court judges must deny bail for violent offenses. Currently, bail is not set for crimes punishable by death or life in prison. Bond is immediately revoked if a person commits a violent offense while out on bond. The General Assembly voted to repeal the Blaine Amendment from South Carolina's Constitution to allow parents to make the best choice for their child's education. It will also help to protect many state-funded programs, such as SC Tuition Grants Program, Life Scholarship, Palmetto Fellows Scholarship, full-day 4K programs, and First Steps, which could be the target of legal challenge under the Blaine Amendment. Voters will have the opportunity to decide whether the state can provide direct aid to certain private educational institutions. We should see this on our ballot in 2024. I did want to touch on the ESA bill that came out of the Senate a few weeks ago and will make its way to the House. It was told to a group of constituents in District 64 that this bill only benefits those who are already sending their children to private schools, and that it will only hurt those who have no choice but to send their children to the public schools and take away from public schools. Please remember that sometimes leaders can have an agenda. They can want people to see things from their point of view, but that doesn't always make it true. Always take the time to do your own research. The facts on this bill are as follows. The bill was originally limited to children who are Medicaid eligible. We all know that struggling parents that work hard to provide for their families aren't always eligible for Medicaid. So I commend the Senate for not shutting those families out from having the opportunity to better their children's education if their public school is underperforming. In the first year of the program, 5,000 students with household incomes of no more than 200% of the federal poverty line will be eligible. For a family of 4, that is about $60,000 total in income. 10,000 students with household incomes limited to 300% of the federal poverty line in the second year, which is about $90,000 for a family of 4. And 15,000 students with a household income limited to 400% of the federal poverty line in the third year on, which is about $120,000 for a family of 4. I would also like to state that the amount given for each child is around $6,000. In Clarendon County alone, public schools are getting around an average of $11,000 per child. Thank you for tuning in for this update, and if you have any questions or need to reach me, you can go to fawnsc.com. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just reach out.